For the Purple Hurricanes, no stars on offense, but Coach Ed James looks to pull out all the stops. Both teams are led by hard-hitting defenses which look to lead their teams to the promised land. It's Gainesville High versus Buchholz coming up. Hello and welcome to Citizens Field for the 1994 Kickoff Classic between city rivals the Buchholz Bobcats and the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. Good evening, I'm Mike Morgan. Well, we've heard of scrimmages and jamborees, but just what exactly is a Kickoff Classic? For the first time in recent... And I believe the Purple Hurricanes have recovered. It looked like number 22, James Monroe, recovered it. And they'll have 1st and 10 at about the Bobcat 19-yard line. Boy, Marcus, what a way to start off this ball game.
Yeah, it looked like Vontrell Mitchell was looking for some daylight over there on the left side. And James Monroe, he just picked up a fumble. One of his teammates gave Vontrell a good lick there, and James Monroe, he's doing it all for this team already.
Monroe doing it on special teams. Now he'll try to do it on offense for the Purple Hurricanes. Number 3, Terrell Griffin, will be the starting quarterback. Monroe will be in the backfield. Number 19, Chris Jones, is lined up wide left. 1st and 10 from the 19. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clements. He scoots for about a gain of 4 down to the 15. And it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Looked like Arkil Starke was in on the tackle there, Mike.
Buchholz Bobcats coming in with a very talented defense, very quick defense. They run about a 3-5-3, interesting formation. 2nd down, 6 yards to go for the Hurricanes. The snap, the give is to Monroe, and nothing doing. Make that number 23, Jermaine Scott, the 6', 196 fullback. And the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes will have their first shot at a 3rd down conversion. Marcus, looks like Gainesville trying to establish a run game early.
Yeah, definitely, Mike. Like you said in the opening of the show, right now their passing game is very unproven. So I think they're just going to ground it out on with this running attack.
3rd down to the short 6 for the Purple Hurricanes. The option play, and Griffith brings it out, but nothing doing. Again, a gain of about 2 or 3 yards. They'll be about 3 yards short. So that'll bring about a 4th down and 3 from the 12-yard line. And what do you think, Marcus? You think we'll see Kevin Warrup here, one of the best kickers in the state?
Yeah, Kenny Warrup, it would be wise for them to go to him right now. He was on the money last year. Every time we saw him, he split the uprights every time.
Well, we have our first timeout. The Purple Hurricanes are going to think about it. It'll be 4th down and 2 when they return. Gainesville expects to use 2 quarterbacks, number 3, Terrell Griffin, and also number 15, Cleve Davis, both expected to see action. Griffin is the starter. Gainesville predominantly a running team. They look for number 22, James Monroe, to lead the way in that category. He is only a junior, as they bring in some additional troops on the field, including number 21, Ricky Ray. And it looks as if Warrup is going to go for a field goal. Important for Gainesville to go up early here, get some early momentum going on. Got kind of a gift there on the turnover.
Mike, I think this rivalry has gotten to the point where it's very psychological. It's very important for these Hurricanes to get on the board early because Buchholz has won, as we've mentioned several times, 12 of the last 13 matchups, and the Canes haven't won this game since 1988.
The attempt for Warrup will be from about 29 yards. Here's the snap, the kick is up, and it is perfect as the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes take the early lead 3-0 with just under 10 minutes to go here at Citizens Field.
Mike, you know the Hurricanes' final record last year was a little misleading. We know that they had a slow start, but they improved tremendously in the second half of the year. They almost knocked off Class 5A state champ Bradenton Manatee. I think they're a dark horse in this District 4-4A this year.
Yeah, you know, we talked to Coach Ed James earlier, and another brutal schedule. Last year they played Bradenton Manatee, Palatka, and Ocala Vanguard. And certainly not a schedule anyone would want to play.
Not too much expectations from the Purple Hurricanes last year, winning only 2 games the previous 2 years combined, winning 4 in Coach Ed James' first year at head coach, coming over from Newberry. Warab gets set to kick off from the 40-yard line.
Let's see if Mitchell can hold on to the ball this year. I know he wants to display some of his athletic talent. He's stepping into a big role. He's kind of like the do-all guy for this Buchholz Bobcat team. Let's see if number 4 can redeem his mistake earlier in the game.
There's the kick by Warab, a line drive way back into the end zone, and Mitchell will not have a chance at that one. Warab already showing off his powerful leg, as the Buchholz Bobcats will start again 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. For the Bobcats, they'll go with starting quarterback Doug Johnson. Vontrell Mitchell is the man in the backfield, and also a talented wide receiver, R.J. Anderson, will try to lead the way.
Of course, Vontrell Mitchell, he's going to be the feature back in this offense. He gained 116 yards, only 10 carries in the spring jamboree, so look for big things from him.
1st and 10. The give is to Mitchell right away, and a big hole. Cuts back at the 40, 45, 50. He's got a couple men chasing him at the sideline, down to the 25, and out of bounds just outside the 20-yard line. And it didn't take long for Vontrell Mitchell to atone for that early fumble on the kickoff.
Yeah, definitely, Mike. Vontrell Mitchell is a speed demon. His 40 time is 4.4. And he's strong, too. 285 bench press. Last year, playing behind DeMond Wimberly, he had 535 yards on the ground and 6 touchdowns, so carrying the ball is nothing new to him.
Give him 60 yards on the carry. Buchholz will have a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, as quarterback Doug Johnson lines up below center, and we're underway again. The give is to the fullback, number 37, Ricky Rembrandt. He scoots for about a gain of 6, but there is a penalty on the play. No indication yet on what the call is.
Mike, it's going to be interesting to see how that weak side of the Buchholz offensive line performs tonight. It's one of the few weaknesses on this strong Buchholz team.
The call is a holding penalty on the Buchholz Bobcats, so they'll be backed up to about the 30-yard line, where they'll line it up again, 1st down and 10. Buchholz, predominantly another running team. Both these squads like to go to the ground game. Buchholz, but with Vontrell Mitchell trying to step up, and a long line of talented running backs from Buchholz. 1st down, 20 yards to go. Just under 9.5 minutes here in the 1st quarter. Doug Johnson lines under center. Anderson and Littles lined up white, and it looks like we'll have a false start. Looked like number 63 might have jumped, and that's exactly what the call is. So already the Buchholz Bobcats racking up 15 yards in penalties. It'll be 1st and 25 from the 35, so they're quickly erasing field goal range here.
Exactly, Mike. This is not what you want to do in this kind of situation. They're already down 3-0 to their arch rivals. A couple offensive line penalties, that'll kill a drive real quick.
The Purple Hurricanes play a 4-4-3 defensive alignment, similar to what the Gators ran last year.
Another gimmick defense, Mike.
Another gimmick defense popular among high school teams. 1st down, 25 for the Buchholz Bobcats from the 35-yard line of Gainesville. Here's the snap. Johnson's back to pass, looking deep. He has number 44 wide open in the flat, makes a move, another move, and goes down at about the 15. A host of tacklers there to meet him. That's number 44, Brad McCants, with the catch, and he was wide open on that play, Marcus.
Oh, definitely. Brad McCants, what an athlete. He plays on the defense for the linebacking core. He punts for this team, and he also kicks field goals. So this man can do it all. He was 26 of 37 extra points last year. Yeah, 35-yard punt average, but right there he showed us his pass-catching ability over the middle.
A gain of 21 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4 from about the 14-yard line. Johnson under center again. Looks to be calling an audible. Mitchell again in the backfield. And we have another penalty flag as Anderson runs a fly pattern in the left corner of the end zone. We'll see how this one goes. Buchholz already racking up some early penalty yards. And it looks like we have an offsides penalty on the Hurricanes. That'll give Buchholz a first down.
Buchholz putting together an impressive drive here. That's just what they need. Like I said, this rivalry is all psychological, Mike. These teams have had equal talent for a few years. Well, not in the last couple years, but I think it's developed into a battle of the minds here. And if Buchholz can come back here and score, that's going to hurt the Canes.
Gainesville has not managed to win over the Buchholz Bobcats since 1988. They're up 3-0 early, but Buchholz is threatening with a first down and goal. Make it, yeah, first down and goal from the 10-yard line. Anderson looking for the fly pattern. Anderson, a spectacular jumping catch. And we have ourselves the first touchdown of the game. Number 10, R.J. Anderson, one-on-one with number 9, Kevin Terry, defensively. And Anderson, using his height advantage there, has about 6 inches or so on Terry. Leaped up and made the catch. And we are at 6-3 with the extra point pending.
Mike, you had to know that they were going to go to R.J. Anderson sooner or later. They set it up with the run, the passes over the middle, and then a beautiful pass by Doug Johnson in the corner of the end zone to R.J. Anderson.
The extra point will be attempted by Brad McCants. It's up, and it is good. So Buchholz takes a 7-3 lead with just over 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. Hasn't taken long for both of these teams to get busy here on the field. 7-3 already. And Gainesville will await the kickoff. Marcus, I know it's important for Gainesville to stay in this one early. Buchholz has beaten them now, like you said, the mental game, and the last thing Gainesville wants to do is get behind early and start thinking about the dominance that Buchholz has had over the Hurricanes.
Oh yeah, definitely, Mike. That has to come into mind every time these two teams play. And this isn't, don't get this wrong, this is a preseason game, but both of these teams want to win here very, very badly. Of course, the coaches were telling us whoever wins this game, the other team will have that motivational psyche for the next time they meet. Of course, the rematch later on in the year, but this game is just not a preseason game. This is very important to both these teams, and a lot of prize at stake, like we said in the opening.
So we get ready to kick it off from the 40-yard line. Number 8, Antonio Clements, the running back, is back to receive. Buchholz doing a strong left formation as the kick goes off. And number 25, Nolan Dudley, watches it roll in the end zone. As we'll have another touchback for Gainesville. That last drive for the Buchholz Bobcats, 4 plays, 80 yards. And it took just 1 minute and 50 for the Bobcats to get on the scoreboard.
Of course, that's excluding the penalties there.
Bobcats overcoming 2 or 3 penalties. Bontrell Mitchell with the key play, a 60-yard dash down to the Hurricanes' 20-yard line. And there you see the starting defensive backfield for the Buchholz Bobcats. Defensive lineman Eric Payton, the defensive tackle number 50, leads the way on the line as we get set for first down. The give is to number 23 on the play, Jermaine Scott, the fullback. And Scott bobbles the ball, but they're going to say he was down. Nevertheless, that play went nowhere. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Buchholz tackles perform. They really don't have any experienced tackles on that defense. They hope number 50, Eric Payton, can step up. Of course, both of his brothers played at BHS. Tarek, who graduated last year, and Deke, who played on that 1990 state title team. He went on to walk on and play a little bit at Florida.
2nd down and 10 for quarterback Terrell Griffin and company. Griffin, play action pass. Throws it underneath the number 23, Jermaine Scott. We've called his name a lot, but he drops the ball. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Purple Hurricanes. Nothing open deep. He goes underneath to Scott. And Griffin might have a few words to say to Scott in the huddle. That ball should have been caught.
That's not very good, Mike, for your inexperienced quarterback. You try a very simple play, try to get his confidence up there, and when Scott dropped that pass, it can't help. You try a simple play, and you need your receivers to catch it for those inexperienced quarterbacks.
Need to get something going early to get Griffin's confidence up. This is his first career start, and he'll have his first third down conversion. 3rd down and 9 from the 21-yard line. Griffin snaps the ball, and we have another penalty flag. It looked to me like someone moved early.
It looked like Nolan Dudley wanted to take off a little soon from his left side, the left side receiver there.
That's not going to make Coach Janes happy. It's unexcusable to have a wide receiver jump off sides. And certainly the Hurricanes cannot afford to make any kind of those mistakes. That'll back them up 5 yards. We'll go at it for 3rd and 14. Just over 7 minutes remaining left here in the game. In the first quarter, rather, at Citizens Field. A little premature to say the game. This is not a jamboree. This is much like a preseason game. We're going to go 4 quarters. Griffin lines under center. 3rd down, 14 yards to go. And it's a play-action fake. Griffin takes it himself, jukes, and makes it just past the original line of scrimmage. A definite punting situation, rather, for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes as they send Kenny Warb out onto the field. And Marcus, this guy's got a leg.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like we talked about earlier, kicks field goals extremely well. He's a Division I prospect, and he averaged 40 yards a punt last season. So in this kind of a strategy kind of game, the Canes want to rely on their defense and score when they can. So field position is very important, and Kenny Warb and his punts play a key role in that.
The Hurricanes hoping they won't have to rely on Warb too much. They want to get some more touchdowns this season. And now Gainesville milks a timeout. So both teams have used a timeout here. First game of the year. Still getting the formations down. Hasn't been as sloppy as it could be for the first game of the year, although we've had some early penalties and a turnover. When we do get to the punting action, I believe number 6, Derek Harris, will be set back for the return. Derek, the brother of a current Gator, Mike Harris. Mark, I know you've talked to Derek Harris.
Yeah. They have a great family right there. Mike leaves, plays for the University of Florida, and now Buchholz fills in with Derek Harris. Of course, Mike Harris had one of the hardest hits of the whole Gator practice when he leveled Ike Hilliard yesterday.
Warb set to punt from the 23, a high bobbly snap, and that kick is blocked. And it's picked up by the Hurricanes, number 24, Jason Phillips, but that won't matter. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Buchholz Bobcats at the 21-yard line. Mark, some sloppy play by the Hurricane special teams there.
Yeah, Jeff Carter just snuck in there. It was a bad snap. Kenny Warb had to jump for that one. Jeff Carter snuck in there with a host of teammates, the senior linebacker, and he just got a big hand on it, knocked it down, and they just trounced on it. The Canes do not need to make mistakes like this.
Well, a blocked punt doesn't exactly count as a turnover, but it might as well, as the Bobcats will have fantastic field position at the Gainesville 21-yard line. 1st and 10 as number 12, Doug Johnson, lines up under center. The give is a fumble. The give was to 37. He bobbled the snap, and Gainesville believes they have it. The officials say they do have the ball. So tick for tack as both teams don't seem to want it. A big break for the Purple Hurricanes. Buchholz could have jumped up to an early lead. This thing might have been over early if they could have got another score there, but Gainesville will grab the ball back at their 20-yard line.
Well, Mike, it's funny, just as you said, that this game had been played pretty well, except for the penalties. Here we go with like 2 straight turnovers, and already starting to be a sloppy game. Let's see if these teams can start to get their offensive rolling and get the turnovers down.
And Ed James hasn't wasted any time making the switch. Number 15, Cleve Davis, is now in at the quarterback spot. Davis, a senior. And he gives it off to number 8, Antonio Clements. Again, nothing doing, a gain of 2 yards. Gainesville has certainly not established a running game yet. And we've yet to hear from James Monroe. That's their main ground carrier. They will have to get something established with him in order to be successful tonight.
Big Shane Goslinger was on the tackle there.
And we have what appears to be another timeout. Either that or they're posing for pictures down there.
I think James wants to just calm his squad down. It's only 7-3. It's not time to panic. Like we said, Buchholz has dominated this series, but this is a big game for GHS, and he just wants to calm the troops down. He has two very inexperienced quarterbacks, Mike, and this conservative style only works if you cut down on the turnovers.
So the Hurricanes will wind it up 2nd and 8. And there you see one of the leaders of the Bobcat defense, number 6, Derek Harris. As we said earlier, Mike Harris's brother from the Florida Gators. A 5'10 defensive back, 170 pounds, runs a 4'4 40, Marcus. Pretty quick over there.
Oh, definitely. Derek Harris is only a junior, so he has time to grow and time to get better.
2nd down and 8 for the Hurricanes. Cleve Davis now in as he runs the option and pitches it to number 9, Kevin Terry. And again, nothing is there. We just mentioned number 6, Derek Harris, and he was in on that stop. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Purple Hurricanes, and this is not a passing team, Marcus. They try to do most of their damage through the air, and they rely heavily on their defense. But already they've had 2 3rd and longs, and should be forced to go through the air again here early. Not exactly what Coach James was looking for.
No, it's not. He wants to get yards, 5 yards at a time, 3 or 4 yards on 1st down, and just establish a drive here that can take some time off the clock, and they keep getting themselves into these 3rd and long situations. It's not good for these inexperienced quarterbacks. But
3rd and 10 from the 21-yard line. Play action pass again. He has a man open deep and instead goes short, and the ball is caught by number 20, Rod Easterling, and he'll have a 1st down. Rod Easterling, a 6', 191-pound linebacker, sharing duties at the tight end spot and making his first catch of the game, the first down of the game for the Hurricanes, as they scoot down to about the 44-yard line. And Mark, that has to be a big play for the Purple Hurricanes. In order for them to get the running game going, they have to force Buchholz to respect the pass.
Oh yeah, Derek Harris, he's been coming up from that safety position, and he knows that GHS's passing game is weak right now, so he's kind of cheating up, and he's making some big hits. Of course, he thinks that him along with James Little is going to have one of the hardest hitting secondaries in the city this year. So, but as you said, that completed pass is going to do a lot for GHS's running game, and let's see if the Canes can start to open up some holes here behind big Nick Ulrich.
Nick Ulrich, number 66, the right tackle. The stalwart of the Purple Hurricanes offensive line. Ulrich goes 6'1", 245 pounds. And we have another delay here on the field early. And now we'll wind it up and get ready to go. 1st down and 10 from the Gainesville 44-yard line. Clement make that Cleve Davis calling the play. And the give is to the short back, number 23, Jermaine Scott, for a gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. We've seen Jermaine Scott's number called quite a few times early. The 6', 196-pound fullback, seeing more action than we expected. I thought we'd see more James Monroe early here, Marcus.
Well, James Monroe's been all over the field, but it's not been on offense yet. He's been on the kickoff return teams and the also on the defensive line there, surprisingly. Maybe he's getting a little tired. It's their first game of the season. Maybe he's a little winded. Maybe the coach just wants to see what these other guys can do.
Well, 2nd down and 7, just over 3 minutes to go. Number 23, Jermaine Scott, in motion now, and the give is to number 9, Kevin Terry. He breaks a tackle and finally goes down. And number 60, Shane Goslinga, saved quite a few yards for the Buchholz Bobcats defense. Otherwise, Evans might have had, Terry might have had a long gain. So we have our first long run for the Purple Hurricanes. It'll be a key 3rd down and 4 from about the 50-yard line. here with just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter at Citizens Field. Number 19, Chris Jones, lines up wide left. 3 backfields for the Purple Hurricanes. Number 9, Kevin Terry, is the deep back. And speaking of Terry, there's the give to Terry, and he is stuffed, and a fumble, and it looks like the Bobcats might have that one. Continued sloppy play for both sides, and we're still waiting for the officials to give the official word. And yes, indeed, first down for the Bobcats at the Gainesville 49-yard line. Turnovers continuing to be a key in this game. But Marcus, Buchholz does have a hard-hitting defense, and they showed it right there.
Oh, yeah, Mike, Derek Harris, after the play, I don't know if you saw it, but he got into a little tussle with number 54 for Gainesville, Trevor Frazier. And Derek Harris is not going to back down to anybody, I'll tell you that right now. But teammates had to separate it. We don't want anything going on extracurricular here to take away from the game.
Of course not. We want a clean game at all possibilities, but with hard hits in between. First down and 10, 49-yard line. Johnson's back to pass. He's got 44 again. Wide open down. Done, and he fumbles the ball. And it appears the Hurricanes have it. Number 8, Antonio Clemens picks it up at about the 5-yard line of GHS. Oh my, turnover after turnover. And what was a spectacular play for the Bobcats from Brad McCants turns into an opportunity for Gainesville to complete another drive.
Big play for GHS, big play. They needed some momentum shift. I don't know, but Brad McCants was wide open over the middle. Somehow he lost control of that ball down there on the 10-yard line, I believe, and it's a big break for the GHS Hurricanes.
Looked as if he forgot to cover it up with 2 hands. That's the cardinal rule. Number 9, Kevin Terry, picks up the fumble, atoning for his own fumble. 3 running backs in the backfield for the Hurricanes. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens, and again, nothing doing. Buchholz has more than held their own at the defensive front, Mark.
Yes, they have. Coming into the game, Buchholz had a lot of questions at that defensive tackle position, but it looks like some of those guys are coming up big. They're making some good hits, and the Purple Hurricanes have not had any room to run over the middle. I think they need to open it up like they were a couple drives ago. Look for some passes, some screen passes, some safe passes that can give these 2 quarterbacks some confidence, Mike.
Well, Jane sends in a wide receiver, number 19, Chris Jones. Second down and 10, nearing the end of the first quarter. GHS will try to get something going. They certainly don't want to turn it over here inside their own 10-yard line. Second down, 10. Cleve Davis lines up, number 23 in motion. The give is to number 9, Kevin Terry, and a few yards. Looks to be about a gain of, about 2, we'll call it.
Brad McCants with a big hit there, Mike.
And that's the end of the first quarter. 7-3 is our score. Buchholz leads the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. When we come back, it'll be 3rd down and 9 for Gainesville. Action here at Citizens Field. Gainesville with a 3rd down and 9 at their own 10-yard line, and Clement fumbles the snap. He's going to take it out and is nailed at the 15. Quarterback Cleve Davis, rather, goes down at the 15, and it'll bring up a 4th down and 5, and we will see Kenny Warab again. Well, for the first quarter, a 29-yard field goal from Kenny Warab, a 10-yard touchdown reception by R.J. Anderson, 4 turnovers combined, and a blocked punt. It's been sloppy early on, Marcus.
Yeah, but you can come to expect that in a preseason game. This is a good warm-up for both teams. They're going to kind of feel their way through it, play some different players that they wouldn't usually play, and feel out who they can rely on for the rest of the season.
Warab will get a chance to show off his leg. He's got a good one. More pressure on the punter. Gets it off, takes a bounce at the 45. Harris will let it roll out of bounds at about the 45 of Buchholz. And what appears to be a 30-yard punt. Marcus coach George Dean brings his troops back. Buchholz winning a state title in '91. Last year going far again. What are they looking forward to this year?
Well, Mike, we've talked a lot about Ed Janes and the rebuilding job he's been doing in the last 2 years, but George Dean came to Buchholz in 1990 to replace Ed Davis from Chiefland, and he won the state 4A title in his first year.
First down and 10 for the Buchholz Bobcats from their own 45-yard line. And we'll have another running play. The give is to Mitchell. And a gain of about 6 yards as he extends himself over the 50. Mark, you were talking about Coach George Dean.
Yeah, Dean, as I said, they won the state title his first year in 1990 when they defeated, actually they shocked Fort Lauderdale Dillard. They also went to the state semifinals the second year, losing to a big offensive line-laden Orlando Evans team. Dean's given this Buchholz program a lot of stability. 3 coaches in 3 years before he arrived, Mike.
Second down and 4 for Buchholz as we get underway in the second quarter, just over 10 minutes to go. Quarterback Doug Johnson calling the play. The give is to Mitchell. He slipped early and had no chance after that. That'll be a loss of about 3 yards on the play. Looked to be number 66, Nick Ulrich, making the play. Ulrich going both ways, playing the right tackle spot. And also on defense, playing on the defensive line. Third down and 6. We've seen plenty of third downs early here.
Looks like an R.J. Anderson situation here.
A definite R.J. Anderson situation. He is one-on-one with cornerback James Haynes III. Johnson back to pass. Penalty flag on the play. It looked like number 8, Antonio Clements. If he did actually come up with that, they could decline the penalty and take the interception, but they might say that that ball is on the ground. No word yet on what the call is.
Looks like someone on the left side of that Buchholz line took off a little early, Mike.
That's exactly what it is, a false start. Probably Mickey Johnson, the left tackle. He's going against number 58, Joe Kerr of the Purple Hurricanes. And they'll back it up to about the 44-yard line of Buchholz. And we'll go third down and 11 this time, a definite passing situation. Look for number 10, R.J. Anderson, lined up wide left in this kind of situation. He's their go-to man. Johnson back to pass. Looks, he's got 4 men in his face, and he just throws it away. Number 55, Mike Jones of the Purple Hurricanes, the 5'11", 161-pound linebacker, jutted in, and there were 4 Purple Hurricanes in Doug Johnson's face, Mark.
I'm sure George Dean, that's not what he wanted to see from his inexperienced weak side of that offensive line. You had 4 guys in Doug Johnson's face. You had some guys open downfield, but you're not going to be able to pass the ball with 4 purple jerseys staring you right down your throat.
Well, that'll set up a guy who's been busy so far, number 44, Brad McCants. He will do his punting duties here from the 44-yard line. 9:07 left in the second quarter. Our score is 7-3. The Buchholz Bobcats lead the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. There's a snap, a low snap. Number 21, Ricky Ray, was in his face, but the punt is off. And number 9, Kevin Terry, fields it. He's got nowhere to go. Now reverses his field. He's in a lot of trouble, but almost breaks it. Boy, if he could have eluded that last 2 tacklers, Mark, he would have had a long way to go, but nothing doing. Buchholz's special teams covered there in a hurry. Terry lucky just to get that to the 20-yard line, where Gainesville will have 1st and 10.
Didn't really have anywhere to go, did he, Mike? He was just kind of scrambling, trying to get whatever he could. That was kind of a weird play. Number 8 for Buchholz, Kendrick Davis, lost his helmet on the play, and I don't know what was going on down there.
Well, he had nowhere to go, but he did his best to make it exciting. I don't know how excited that James was about that. The Purple Hurricanes went up early 3-0, now trails 7-3. And it appears Terrell Griffin is back in at quarterback, number 3. So Janes playing quarterback roulette, first down and 10. And it's a play action pass. And an incomplete pass to number 23. Take my word for it. The pass was intended for Jermaine Scott, number 23. Griffin faking out our cameraman on that move. It was so good, Mark.
But he sure didn't fake out Larry Jenkins, number 85 for Buchholz. Jenkins followed the play all the way. His job was to stick on that quarterback, Terrell Griffin, and he was there. He laid a lick on Griffin. Griffin got rid of the pass, but sure he didn't feel too good about the hit.
Interesting move here by Coach Ed Janes of the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. Already we've seen 2 quarterback changes. We started off with Griffin, went to Davis, now we're back to Griffin. Second down and 10. Again, a full house backfield for the Purple Hurricanes. Number 22, James Monroe in motion. The give is to the up back, number 23, Jermaine Scott. And again, he has absolutely nowhere to go. A loss on the play. Another 3rd and long for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes, Mark.
Mike, I don't think that play up the middle is going to work tonight. At least not with these two teams on the field right now. I mean, when they switch around some of their players, maybe GHS can try to get up over the middle, but right now there are no holes whatsoever. Buchholz is plugging that line excellently.
Buchholz using their size advantage on that defensive line. Also very quick unit out there. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Gainesville from just behind their 20-yard line. And a play action pass. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens. He turns the corner, runs it out to about the 26-yard line. It'll still be 4 yards short of a first down. And Kenny Warab, you get the feeling you might hear his name a lot called this afternoon, Marcus, will be back on the field for another punt for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes.
Well, you know, I don't think Ed Janes is going to be too excited. I know Kenny Warab is a Division I prospect, but don't exactly want to have a Kenny Warab highlight film for your preseason opener, do you, Mike?
No, they're giving him a good look right now. The problem is we're playing a game, and this is not a tryout for any colleges. Kenny Warab actually hasn't gotten off a good punt yet, but there has been pressure in his face every kick. The kick will be snapped from about the 27-yard line. 9 guys in the Bobcat line of scrimmage. Again, pressure, but he gets it off, and this one's a good one. Good hang time. Harris dives to take it, a dangerous play, and he goes down at about the 42. Boy, number 55, Mike Jones, was looking right in his eyes and ready to cover a fumble in case Harris dropped the ball, but Harris sure-handed fielding the punt. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Bobcats' 42-yard line.
Big Ricky Ray was down there covering that punt also. He's pretty shy around the camera, Mike, but he definitely is not shy around ball carriers.
No, he speaks very loud on the field. Another college prospect. And quarterback Doug Johnson will wind up behind center, and there's the line on Doug Johnson. 6'3", 190 pounds. There you see he runs a 4.8, and pretty good numbers last year, Marcus, from Doug Johnson.
There he goes, though.
And speaking of Doug Johnson, he hits R.J. Anderson. And Anderson, oh, there we go. There's our first late hit of the game. And Anderson already talking some trash. He likes to talk, Mark, and he has some reason to talk there. Making the catch, and 3 Gainesville Purple Hurricanes pulled him out of bounds, but a little too late.
Yeah, R.J. Anderson, just right on cue. Right on cue. R.J. Anderson with a great catch. He had a great season last year. As you see, his height, he has a great height advantage over all receivers. 30 catches last year, 830 yards, the big 7 touchdowns. And if you remember, had a huge game last year against Eastside. That's when we met R.J. Anderson, the city of Gainesville.
1st down and 10, and yet another timeout. This one an official's timeout, as the officials trying to square some things underway. The Water Boys will get their first action of the 2nd quarter. Well, Mark, and for a preview of this year's high school football teams, watch the Cox Cable 8 High School Football Preseason Special featuring Gainesville, Buchholz, Eastside, PK Young, and Santa Fe. Thursday, September 1st at 7:30 p.m. on Cox Cable 8, your local sports leader.
Should be an exciting year, Mike. We have a lot of teams that are in contention. Gainesville Purple Hurricanes have playoff hopes. The Buchholz Bobcats are talking about another state title. And you know John Carter over there at Santa Fe, he always has a strong program. Of course, he's going to have to fill a big hole in Mike Peterson at quarterback and Doug Forrester on that offensive line. But you have to believe old John Carter's going to put together another good team.
John Carter, they don't think districts there. They look at states every year. Lofty expectations every year from the Santa Fe program. It's 1st and 10 here from the Hurricane 26-yard line. The give is to Vontrell Mitchell. And boy, didn't take him long to go through that hole. Marcus picked up about 6 or 7 yards. And we haven't called Mitchell's name too early yet, but I get the feeling we might hear more from him coming up.
Oh, Mitchell, like I said earlier, he is a speed demon. Coach George Dean compares him more to University of Florida running back and former Buchholz Bobcat Tyrone Baker. A lot of speed. They hit the holes quick. And if you don't catch them the first time, you're going to be seeing their butt because they're going to be gone. DeMond Wimberly last year was more of a power back with speed. And Mitchell favors more towards Tyrone Baker.
2nd down and 3, just over 5 minutes in the first half. The give is to number 37, Richard Rembert. And a minimal gain, if any. It'll set up 3rd down and about 3 or 4 yards to go. We'll call it a long 3.
Now, Vontrell Mitchell wasn't the starting tailback. I think we'd see a lot of Ricky Rembert at that tailback spot. He also has 4.4 speed, and he's a strong guy. He benches 295 pounds, so he's a load to bring down.
Mark, that bench press is almost as much as yours. 3rd down and 4. Just under 4.5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Anderson snaps back. He's going to go for the fade to R.J. Anderson, but the ball was just a little too inside for Anderson to make a play on it. You know that play is going to come when they get in close, Marcus. Anderson, 6'3", has a height advantage over most cornerbacks, and just not, the ball was not in the right place to make a play there for him to make a play at it, but you might see that again if they elect to go for it here on 4th and 4. And I don't see the kicker. So it appears as if George Dean's going to go for his first gamble of the game. 4th down and 4 from the 20-yard line. Doug Johnson behind center. He's got Mitchell in the backfield. Gainesville showing blitz. The pass is to Anderson again. He is hit, but I think he'll have a 1st down. He will have a 1st down at about the 15-yard line. Good play there. You have to respect the fade pattern in the end zone for Anderson. They went short, and Anderson sure-handed as always.
Yeah, Doug Johnson and R.J. Anderson, they definitely have a chemistry going on this team, much like maybe we could say I don't know, Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson from the old Dallas Cowboy days. I know you'd be familiar with that, Mike. These two played together all last season, and Doug Johnson definitely knows where R.J. Anderson is at all times.
1st down and 10 from inside the Purple Hurricane 15. The give is to the fullback. Can't make out who that was.
I think it was Ricky Rembert there.
Ricky Rembert again. Minimal gain on the play, as Gainesville tries to break this thing open here in the first half. Just under 3.5 minutes to go. It'll be 2nd down and 9. There you see Buchholz Bobcat head coach George Dean, his 5th year at BHS and 1990 state champs, coming in with some big credentials. They look to make a return trip this year with a talented squad. Here's the snap. The give is to Vontrell, and Gainesville stuffing up the middle quite well. Mitchell trying to run off tackle on the right side. Nothing doing. And that'll bring up a 3rd down for the Bobcats.
Good game plan, good drive here by the Buchholz Bobcats, though. They're just, they're nickel and diming the Hurricanes, and going with a short pass here, a little run here with Vontrell Mitchell, taking it about 5 or 6 yards at a time. Some of the runs are going for 2 or 3 yards, but they're just plugging away, and they're taking what the Purple Hurricanes are giving them, and they're going down the field. Obviously, they want to run off some time also. Only 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the half.
Well, you know, Marcus, I don't think anybody would argue that the Buchholz Bobcats have a deeper team than GHS, and with the short length of time the GHS drives have been so far, I think Buchholz might try to run down the Gainesville defense, which has been on the field for much of the first half, hoping fatigue will sit in the second half, and they're doing a good job of that right now. It'll be 3rd down and 7 when the Bobcats line back up under center. 2:44 to go in the first half. 7-3 is our score. Buchholz ahead. And here we go, winding it up. The junior, Doug Johnson, behind center. Mitchell is the deep back, and R.J. Anderson on the right side. Look for the fade pattern here. There it is. They have him deep, and it's a touchdown for R.J. Anderson. No surprise there. Anderson, his 2nd touchdown of the game. 11 yards on the play, and Marcus, hasn't taken long for the Johnson-Anderson connection to be a pivotal factor in this game.
You're right, Mike. Big difference from Doug Johnson going to this year from last year. Last year he started as only a sophomore, showed some flashes of brilliance, led the team to the playoffs, but Coach George Dean is really impressed with the way he is so poised now, and he's learned a lot about defenses, and he's taken his time, and he's become a much better quarterback. George Dean is expecting a lot of Doug Johnson this year.
And they'll go for the extra point. They'll try to make it 14-3. We have yet another water break. There you see number 44, Brad McCants. 26 of 37 from extra points, only 3 of 4 from field goals, and a 35-yard punt average. He's already caught a couple balls today, Marcus, and McCants trying to make his impact felt early on.
Well, there you see Brad McCants. It shows you something about the Buchholz setup here. He can hit those field goals from short end, but you're going to see, as Buchholz did earlier, they're going to go for the, if they're around the 25-yard line, they're going to go ahead and go for the 1st down on 4th down. No risk missing going for a field goal when they might miss it. Brad McCants, very deadly from inside that 15-yard line.
You mentioned 4th down. They had a key 4th and 4, which was the main play in grabbing their 2nd touchdown. Here's the extra point. The snap, the kick is up, and I think that was wide right. Yes, it is. The kick is wide right, so a 10-point game here, 13-3, 2:40 left in the first half. Up, we have a penalty flag. Oh, it's going to be roughing the kicker on the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. Ed Janes is not going to be a happy camper.
No, just early on the drive, Ernell Kelly laid a late lick on R.J. Anderson, and now we have another roughing penalty. You kind of see this. This happens when you have your arch rivals playing. They always want to get an extra lick in, and especially when you're behind, the frustration sets in. There you see George Dean. He has to be happy that his team's not making those kind of mistakes as of yet.
Buchholz has kept their composure pretty well. Of course, it's easier to keep your composure when you're winning. That's exactly what Buchholz is doing right now. And well, now we have a timeout. Maybe Coach George Dean will elect to go for 2 here.
We'll see. That could put his team up 15-3. A good, solid 12-point advantage going into the half. And his team has to be feeling that confidence again. It's the GHS Buchholz rivalry, but looking one-sided at this moment. I'm sure Ed Janes can't be happy with the score right now.
Coach Janes' offense has not been able to get anything successful drive down. They've had bits and pieces here and there, a big play, but just have not been able to string it together. There are only 3 points coming off the opening fumble on the kickoff. Well, it looks like Buchholz will in fact go for 2. And a reminder to watch Cox Cable 8's Game of the Week next week as the Buchholz Bobcats take on the Eastside Rams Saturday, September 3rd at 7:30 and Monday, September 5th at 3 o'clock p.m. Here we go with the two-point conversion. The pitch is wide right to number 37, Richard Rembrandt, and he is knocked out of bounds, fumbles it out of bounds. He did not get in. So, Coach Jeans's effort to go for two backfires, but they still do have a 10-point lead. Buchholz is leading 13-3 here late in the first half. Gainesville will receive the kickoff and try to get a score here before the first half closes. That would be very important to gain some momentum going in. They'll also receive the second half kickoff.
It's going to be interesting to see. There you see the GHS coaching staff. It's going to be interesting to see if Purple Hurricanes can mount some sort of a 2-minute drill here. I know they have inexperienced quarterbacks. Score now 13-3.
That last drive, 8 plays, 58 yards, 3 minutes and 45 seconds, capped off by 11-yard touchdown reception from R.J. Anderson, his second of the game. And there you see number 25. That would be Nolan Dudley looking to take the kickoff. Nolan stands 5'7", 140 pounds. He can scoot. And again, they're going to flush left on the kickoff. And the kick will go left. Dudley lets it bounce. He's got to pick that up. Picks it up late at the 5-yard line, avoids a tackler, and then goes kamikaze up the middle before getting hammered by a couple of Buchholz Bobcats. Goes down to the 19-yard line where Gainesville will have it, first down and 10. Trying to get on the board here.
Sorry, Mike. James Littles and Nicholas Rawls in on the tackle there. Of course, James Littles emphatic that his team will have the hardest hitting secondary. He also mentioned that Buchholz's city dominance will not come to an end this season as long as he's a senior.
Clock running under 2.5 minutes. Gainesville lines up. Terrell Griffin is the quarterback, number 3. We've seen both quarterbacks here in the first half for the Purple Hurricanes. Griffin lines up and keeps it himself, and nothing there. Stacked up, number 7, Curtis Perry leading the way, sophomore linebacker. Gainesville not able to establish a solid ground game yet against these Buchholz Bobcats. I think eventually they're going to have to go to the pass, and I think that's exactly what Buchholz wants. So, second down and 10, they line it up. They don't appear to be in a hurry to get this ball snapped as they let the clock run down, under 1.5 minutes to go. The give is to the up back. I believe
it was Kevin Terry there on the carry, looked like.
Kevin Terry or Antonio Clemens, one of the two. I think it was Antonio Clemens, number 8. And you know, Marcus, I'm really surprised we haven't seen more of James Monroe. I know this is only a preseason game, but I guess Jane's saving him maybe for the second half?
I don't know. Maybe we just didn't do our homework. We thought that James Monroe would come out here. He showed a lot of speed last year, especially in the Tallahassee Godby game. He showed us what he could do. He played it behind a couple seniors, Billy Williams and Corey Williams. But we thought that Coach Janes would really like to feature him in his offense. Maybe Coach Janes is not putting all his cards on the table, so to speak, in the preseason opener.
Well, just for the record, Mark, I did do my homework, but they just haven't gotten to Monroe here early. He's there. You see him coming in the game. Yet another water break here. It'll be third down and 7. 1:17 to go in the first half. 13-3 is your score. And with the third down and 7, possible passing situation here for the Purple Hurricanes. And there you see number 21, Ricky Ray, has entered the game offensively for the Purple Hurricanes. I think he will go with an additional wide receiver spot. Coach Janes, I talked to earlier, he said you might see Ray at wide receiver, and that's exactly what he is, lined up wide left. Here's the snap. The give is to 22 Monroe, right on cue. Monroe cuts back and picks up a gain of about 4 or 5 yards, but it'll be short, and that's what we expected to see more of, Marcus, but not on 3rd and long.
No, Mike. I think Coach Ed James is just content to run out the clock. He's in his own side of the field. He'll just let this clock run down. 3 straight running plays. Just didn't want to take a chance on another turnover. He just wanted to take those Purple Hurricanes back in the locker room and just regroup and tell them what they need to do and maybe change the game plan a little bit, because there's definitely no holes over the middle open.
Well, not a bad move by Coach James. Gainesville only down by 10 points. They will receive the second half kickoff. And as we see, another penalty flag. This time, the yellow hanky at about the 43-yard line. Delay of game. Gainesville running down the clock. I don't have any doubt in my mind that was intentional by Coach James. Just trying to milk this one out, prepare his troops for the second half. So Ward will kick it, lined up at the 22. Another high snap and more pressure, and I don't know how he got that one off, but he did. And Harris takes it, fields it at the 49, picks up about 2 yards. And how Kenny Warb got that punt off? I think it went through the hands of one of the Buchholz rushers there. Warb has been pressured on almost all of his punts.
That was a great effort by the kid there. Buchholz getting up to the line quick. Don't count them out. When you have a Doug Johnson and you have an R.J. Anderson, you can score pretty quickly.
Well, you see Gainesville getting off the field quick, a lot of confusion, and it's picked off by number 4 at the 45-yard line. He could go all the way. Number 2, he's got one man to beat, pitches it to number 21, Ricky Ray, and Ray has a touchdown for the Purple Hurricanes as we close out the first half. Oh my, the fans are on their feet. Unbelievable. Number 4, Ricky Bradley picking the pass off, running it all the way down to about the Buchholz 15, then lateraling it to linebacker Ricky Ray, who makes his presence known with the Gainesville's first touchdown of the game, as it's 13-9 now with 0 on the first half clock. They'll go for the extra point, try to make this a 3-point ball game. Boy, Marcus, the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes really needed something like that.
Oh yeah, Buchholz has dominated this whole first half, and this is the game of football. One play has turned around this half for the Purple Hurricanes. If they make this extra point, it's 13-10. They're right back in the game. Only a field goal down.
Huge play for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. Much the story of last year, the defense leading the way, picking off a pass, and boy, George Dean has got to be saying to himself, I should have just kneeled it right there, but 20/20 hindsight, Mark.
As always.
Again, Warb is pressured, but this kick is up and good. And we have ourselves a ball game here at the end of the first half. The Buchholz Bobcats lead the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes 13-10 on the Cox Cable 8 Kickoff Classic. The kickoff lined up at the 40-yard line. And it looks to be number 8, Antonio Clemens will be the deep back, along with number 25, Nolan Dudley, to field the kickoff. And Brad McCants will be performing the kicking duties. 12-minute quarters here at the Kickoff Classic. This is not a jamboree again. Both teams participating in 4 quarters of play. And we're set to go. Buchholz again lining up far left. The kick goes far left, and Dudley fields it at about the 4. Dudley takes it out and gets clotheslined by number 1, Nicholas Rawls. And Mark, I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a flag on that play, but I got to tell you, that was some kind of hit.
Oh man, Mike, that looked like something from the ESPN highlight videos, NFL Crunch Course. Oh my goodness, that is definitely going to make our highlight film. That is the biggest hit. That could be the biggest hit we have all year. We'll
That's
have to wait and see,
WrestleMania footage right there. All we need now is some ropes and turnbuckles.
The flying lariat, Barry Windham.
Oh man. Well, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Purple Hurricanes at the 23-yard line. Again, the full house backfield, one wide out, wide left. Number 15, Cleve Davis, back in at quarterback. And Davis runs out left. It's a rollout, throws it to number 20, who had a beat on his man. That's Rod Easterling, the tight end. But the ball is overthrown. Davis led his receiver too far.
Yeah, Gerald Mosley kind of snuck over there for the Buchholz Bobcats from his left cornerback position. Had a good shot at the interception, but the ball just came up a little short. He was just there waiting and waiting for that ball.
It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 as we get the second half underway. 2 wideouts now for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes, a look we haven't seen very often tonight. Davis will take the snap. Fakes the short give, throws to number 20, Rod Easterling, and he's got a beat. 35 down to the 40-yard line. Make that the 37 of the Buchholz Bobcats. And Rod Easterling, who is their starting defensive end, showed a little speed there from the tight end spot, Mark.
There you go, Mike. The momentum from the end of the half, that interception, the mistake by Doug Johnson. Looks like the Canes have the momentum. The quarterback's gained some confidence on these short little routes. And there you go, Rod Easterling down to the 37-yard line. The Canes are on the move.
Just a simple in route, but perhaps the biggest play of the game for Gainesville so far. 1st and 10 from the 38. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens. Clemens riding off a couple of tacklers before picking up, we'll give him 5 yards on that.
Mike, you see how that pass there, it automatically opened up that inside to the right side there running game for the Canes. Coach James is going to find a lot of success. If he can hit some passes, he's going to find some success also with that running game because Buchholz won't be able to cheat as much as they have been.
And we're going to get our first timeout of the second half. Cleve Davis does not like what he sees. As he calls timeout, he's going to talk it over with Coach Ed James on the sideline. Davis, his second appearance in this game. He subbed in the first half for starter Terrell Griffin. Then Griffith went back in. And now Coach James decides to start out with Davis here in the second half.
Looks like Ed James' game plan is turning out pretty good. The momentum's shifting. And like I said earlier, the defensive backs for Buchholz, they had been cheating a little bit, knowing that run was coming. And now that they have to defend the pass, some of these holes over the middle might open up for guys like James Monroe and Clements.
Well, remember, Marcus, if you remember last year, one of the trademarks about Gainesville, a great second half team. Coach Ed James really knows how to make the right adjustments at halftime. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Purple Hurricanes. 3 running backs and a wide out left. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens. He finds a hole off of right tackle. And that should be enough for the first down. It's going to be close. And we might have our first measuring stick here. No word yet from the officials on whether or not he got enough. Well, no, here we go. Yep, they're going to give him the first down. 1st and 10 from the Buchholz 28-yard line. Gainesville with easily their most impressive drive of the game so far. Davis under center. Snaps it. It's a fake, and wow. Incomplete. Intended for number 25, Nolan Dudley. That was a dangerous pass, Mark. He threw it right there and looked at his receiver all the way.
It looked like Gerald Mosley had a beat on that ball. It looked like it was going right to him, and then number 25 for GHS, Nolan Dudley, flashed in the screen, and it was right in his hands. He should have had that pass, Mike.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Gainesville. Going to the air here in the second half. Kind of a refreshing sight. The snap, the give again is to number 8, Antonio Clements. Nothing doing. A loss of about 2 or 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long for GHS. A passing down, and they seem to have their passing offense going here, so they'll try it out. We might see 2 wideouts again. A rare formation with GS. You'll never see 3 wideouts. Of course, they're missing 2 of their main targets, Mac Boston and Sean Gostin. Both of them are not suited up to play in this one. So James is doing the best with what he has out there tonight. 3rd down and 12. It's play action pass, and the ball is incomplete. Intended for number 19, Chris Jones. That's the first ball thrown out there his way tonight. And again, Gainesville just running those simple in routes, which has been successful here early in the 3rd quarter. But that ball was not on the mark, and I think you'll see Kenny Warab here. Question is, this would be about a 47-yarder mark. If there's anybody in the county who can kick one from that distance, you're looking at him, number 10, Kenny Warab. And that's, well, it appears as if, yep, they will indeed go for it. Here we go, 47-yard attempt from Kenny Warab. A bobbled snap, number 40 has to handle it. He's going to run for the first down marker. He looks to be just short, I believe. Linebacker Mike Rice took it, ran it about 11 yards, but I don't think that's going to be enough. No, it isn't.
Good effort there by Mike Rice. I believe that's who it was, Mike. He almost got to that first down marker, but I think his knee just hit before he could extend the ball over that first down stick.
And again, special teams has been a problem from Gainesville the entire game. We've already seen 1 punt blocked. We've seen several high snaps on punts. And there you have a high snap on a field goal attempt. Would have been interesting to see if Warab could have put it through from that distance, but we're just going to have to imagine whether he would have put it in or not, because it's all for naught with the high snap.
Well, Mike,
we'll have a 1st and 10 from just inside the 20-yard line mark.
Well, what I was going to say, Mike, is I think we're going to have plenty of opportunities to see Kenny Warab kick some field goals like that this year, and that's something new for high school football. We haven't seen, you don't see too much. You don't see many kickers kick beyond the 35-yard field goal range, and Kenny Warab can add a little excitement as far as that goes. Something new for high school football here.
Kenny Warab has got some distance in both his punts and kicks. Division I prospect. He's in his senior year, a 6-foot, 195-pounder. As you take a look at the Buchholz Bobcats sideline, anxious to get something going here. Coach George Dean and company ready to break out the second half. Got a little scare there from the Purple Hurricanes, but all for naught on the missed field goal attempt. So here we go, 1st and 10, 8:17 remaining in the 3rd quarter. As Doug Johnson lines up under center, R.J. Anderson and Niel Mingo lined up wide left, but the give is to Vontrell Mitchell. And the interior defense of GHS doing a pretty good job there, containing Mitchell. Inside is number 22, James Monroe, and number 71, Bill Brown.
Well, Vontrell Mitchell, Mike, in the first half, he only had, I believe, 3 rushes for 58 yards, and most of that came on that big chunk of yardage he gained on that drive when he ran, I believe it was 40 yards down the field, and got caught on the shoestring tackle that led to the R.J. Anderson touchdown. So he's been pretty much contained here in this game. Of course, Buchholz still going with the starters. I wonder when we'll start seeing a different mix of players out there, Mike.
Well, Coach George Dean not happy with the 3-point lead here. He's sticking with his main guns. The give is to Mitchell. And a great tackle there. He is spun down. It appeared to be, well, can't quite make it out there. A host of Purple Hurricane tacklers in on that play. As they continue to stuff up the middle quite well. Wouldn't be surprised if they start trying to run Mitchell wide left, wide right here, because hasn't been any going up the middle so far. It'll bring up a third down and 9. 13-10 is our score. 6:50 left in the third quarter. Johnson behind center. It's a draw play to Mitchell, but again, not much doing. Number 40, Mike Rice, in on the stop, and that'll force Buchholz to punt.
Mike, this seems like this is kind of a dead spot in the game. We're just kind of waiting for something to happen here. Buchholz with a 13-10 lead, and GHS obviously has the momentum right now, and looks like they're going to get some good field position.
Good field position they should have. Number 8, Antonio Clemens, is back at about the Gainesville 40-yard line, hoping to put his team in good field position as we await the punt. Boy, they don't, I think the referees are still trying to get things situated down there. There we go. Here's the snap. The snap is low, high, heavy pressure, and it is bobbled by Clemens. Now he's running backwards, and he is stuffed by number 8, Kendrick Williams. In case you're scoring at home, that's about a negative 25-yard return, Mark. That won't help the average.
No, not unless you're Lawrence Wright of the Florida Gators. That usually doesn't, going backwards usually doesn't work too well. Of course, we saw Lawrence Wright in the Sugar Bowl with a great backwards change of field run, but Buchholz had his number, and they were right there ready for the tackle.
Well, I guess if there's one thing we learned from that play, Antonio Clemens is no Lawrence Wright. First down and 10, 13-10, Buchholz leads the game. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Gainesville will have not very good field position after that run back. It'll start at the 14-yard line. Boy, Coach Janes has got to be upset about that. First down and 10. Cleve Davis still in the game at quarterback. Cleve Davis looking long and overthrows an open Ryan Perfett, number 88. We have him listed as an offensive lineman. I think he was lined up at the tight end spot that right there and surprised a few people. But again, some of the GHS throws have not been on the mark. You do have 2 inexperienced quarterbacks here. And right now, that looming large as far as a lack of passing game for the Purple Hurricanes.
Well, Mike, we saw whenever they were able to pass, that's when their drives were successful. It opened up things inside. Running backs like Antonio Clements and James Monroe were able to find some holes. It also seems like Ed Janes is very happy with the play so far. Cleve Davis, he seems like he has more confidence in him right now than Terrell Griffin. Seems like Cleve Davis is getting a bit more of the snaps.
Well, Davis is the senior. Terrell Griffith, the junior, but did start this game. Went out, came back in. Now he's back out again as they play musical quarterbacks here at Gainesville High. And we're waiting for the officials to get this one going. Second down and 10. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens. We've seen a lot of him tonight. But again, a minimal gain up on the ground. There's just nowhere to run on that front 4 of Buchholz. I think if Gainesville is going to get a good drive here, they're going to have to try to get more done through the air. So the running game has not been able to get anything going here. Third down and 7 for the Purple Hurricanes. Again, only 1 wide receiver. Full house backfield. Cleve Davis takes the snap, runs right, avoids a tackler, makes a great move, but finally wrapped up, and now we have a penalty flag. He was wrapped up by Judson Douglas, the junior defensive tackle for Buchholz. And we might have, we have a personal foul against the Purple Hurricanes.
Didn't see it, Mike. I didn't see that. I must have missed that on the
Wow,
play there.
Coach Janes is not happy about that.
It's the third one.
Penalties and turnovers have been crucial for Coach Janes and company. There's a couple of Janes assistants. There you see Coach Janes, and he's going to have a talk with whoever that was. They don't call out numbers in high school football. And for good reason. I don't think whoever committed that play would want his number called right now.
I think that was number 67, Eddie Blair.
Well, well, we just called it now anyway.
On the late hit penalty.
Late hit for Eddie Blair. So Eddie gets his name called, but not in the fashion he would like to. That'll bring up a 4th down 17. Warb backed up in his end zone. Coach Dean sending 8 guys. Warb does get the kickoff, and it's a beauty. All the way out to the 49-yard line of Buchholz. Harris stumbles and gets back to about the Gainesville 41-yard line. That was actually Vontrell Mitchell on the punt return.
Mike, I think they're doing whatever they can right now at Buchholz to get Vontrell Mitchell involved in this game. He had that one big run, but we haven't heard much from him. I'm sure they want to utilize that explosiveness, that David Palmer, Rocket Ishmael kind of player that he can be.
Well, we've yet to see him really explode yet, but I get the feeling it's about to come. Here's number 37, the fullback, Richard Rembert. We've seen his name called quite a few times, Mark. He's kind of a good compliment there to Vontrell Mitchell.
Yeah, Mike, like we said earlier, Ricky Rembert would probably be the starter on many other teams. He runs a 4.4 40-yard dash. Runs on the Buchholz track team. He's a burner, Mike, and he also has a lot of strength. Bench presses 295 pounds.
So it's 2nd down, 11 yards for the Buchholz Bobcats. Johnson takes the snap. He's looking. He's got 2 wideouts. The rush is on, and the ball is incomplete. Intended for number 2, Niel Mingo. We don't know too much about Niel, but I love saying that name, Mark.
Yeah, Niel Mingo.
Mingo, a 6 foot, 160-pound junior receiver, which they call the Z in this offense. They also have, what is it, an X receiver?
That would be R.J. Anderson, the X factor. And Niel Mingo is over there on the other side as your Z receiver in this Buchholz offense.
Little alphabet soup played by the Buchholz Bobcats. 3rd down and 11, key play. Johnson back to pass, is pressured some more, and now he's going to scramble, running out, and he is leveled by number 71 defensive tackle Bill Brown, the 6 foot, 272-pound senior. This kid's big. Johnson.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Doug Johnson might have got his bell rung a little, but he seems to be okay after that play. I think Buchholz, they will be forced to punt.
Also, Joe Kerr got a hand on Doug Johnson there. Also, James Monroe also had some pressure. They both got a hand on the quarterback, forced him there to the middle where you saw that Jones was able to pull down the junior quarterback.
Antonio Clements will look to field this punt. Hopes to be more successful than he was on the last kick. Here's the punt. Oh, tremendous pressure. And again, another kick almost blocked. But it goes in the end zone, and we'll have a touchback for the Purple Hurricanes. And, you know, you got to feel right now, the score is 13-10 here. We got 1:49 late in the 3rd quarter. Seems to me like Gainesville's kind of dodged the bullet. Statistically speaking, Buchholz has dominated this game. But a key play here and there, and the defense, once again, much the story last year, has managed to keep the Purple Hurricanes in the ball game.
Mike, if I'm Ed James, I am extremely happy right now because the score is 13-10. His defense has held Buchholz the last several times they've had the ball. And it's kind of a dead spot in the game. If the GHS can come up with a big play here, they'll be right in it, and they might be able to beat their crosstown rival.
Well, there you see number 3, Terrell Griffin, back in the game. And he scrambles for about, well, we'll call it 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. In case you've just joined us, it's been Griffin and Clement back and forth. They started with Griffin and have continually subbed both quarterbacks in and out. Neither one of them has gotten hot as of yet. 1 wide out, 3 running backs again for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes. Number 22, James Monroe, in motion. And it's a quarterback draw for Terrell Griffin. He picks up about 4 yards on the play. We'll call it 3rd down and a short 2 yards. Gainesville could really use a 1st down right here as the clock winds down in the 3rd quarter. I would think they would go with James Monroe here, Mark.
It's 3rd and 1, Mike. It's an obvious running situation, but knowing Ed James, I wouldn't be surprised if they passed right here. You know Buchholz is going to be cheating towards the run. Let's see if they don't pass the ball.
Kelly, Monroe, and Clements are the backs. The give is to, well, it's a quarterback sneak. Terrell Griffin takes it, and I don't think he got it, Mark. I think he's short.
Let's see where the mark is.
The all-important mark, well, they gave him a pretty good spot, actually. Yep, that's going to be a 1st down. Favorable spot by the referee on that play. And a big break for the Purple Hurricanes as they look to culminate a successful drive here late in the 3rd quarter. 13-10 is our score. And 15 seconds left. The Canes will try to get one more play off. At least we think they will. Griffin takes the snap. Gives it to number 8, Antonio Clements, and again, nothing for him. Clements has not been able to break. And that'll bring up a 2nd and long as we close out the 3rd quarter here on Cox Cable 8 Football, the Kickoff Classic.
Don't miss Family Pool and Spas.
Of this year's high school football teams. Watch the Cox Cable 8 High School Game of the Week. Back to live action. 3rd down and 14. The pass is caught by number 19, Chris Jones, but that will not be enough. A gain of 5 on the play. Gainesville will be forced to punt. And there we go. For a preview of this year's high school football teams, watch the Cox Cable 8 High School Football Preseason Special featuring Gainesville, Buchholz, Eastside, PK Young, and Santa Fe. Thursday, September 1st at 7:30 p.m. on Cox Cable 8, your local sports leader. Back to live action, 4th and 6. Gainesville is forced to punt. Warb back at his own 20-yard line. And another bad snap. He gets off the punt end over end, takes a bounce at the 30, and it's a Gainesville bounce as it goes down to about the 23-yard line where Buchholz will snap it up. 1st and 10 as we get underway here in the 4th quarter. Not a very busy 3rd quarter, a scoreless 3rd quarter in fact. Both teams not able to sustain a drive. The closest scoring threat we had was a missed field goal attempt by the Purple Hurricanes.
Well, Mike, it looks like both teams are still, especially Buchholz here on offense, they're still sticking with their starters. It's a close game, 13-10. A lot of pride's on the line. They're not going to put in their 2nd teamers, it looks like. At least not a quarterback.
1st and 10 from the 23 for Buchholz. Doug Johnson, the fake, and forget the fake. 21, Ricky Ray is right in his face. We haven't called Ricky Ray's name too much since that touchdown he scored, but he is their leader on defense. 6'3", 204-pound linebacker. And Ray stepping it up here in the fourth quarter as the Hurricanes need a stop. A loss of 8 yards on the play, second down and 18. And you know, we haven't heard R.J. Anderson's name in a while. There's a perfect opportunity for them to go to his way on second and long. Doug Johnson takes the snap, avoids the rusher, and he's looking for Anderson. He's got him deep. It's caught at the 45, down and out of bounds at about the Gainesville 30. Don't mean to say I told you so, Mark, but that was R.J. Anderson's down from before they even snapped the ball.
Well, I wouldn't call you Swami or anything like that, but we knew that R.J. Anderson had to come sooner or later because Buchholz was not getting anything established at all. Ooh, I see a flag on the play back down on the 8-yard line. This might be coming back.
I think it is going to come back,
Ooh.
Mark. And you see quarterback number 12, Doug Johnson, is not happy. He is infuriated. You see him down there at about the 10-yard line. He is not happy with that call.
Georgia Dean can't be happy either, I'll tell you that much, Mike. Buchholz offense hadn't been moving too much, and then they go to R.J. Anderson. They're a prime target there at the X receiver spot. Gains about 50 yards, and it's all coming back.
Oh, I haven't seen any indication on what exactly the call is. Hopefully the Zebras will give us some indication. There you see Coach George Dean. I don't think he's very happy with that play. Arms crossed, not a very emotional man. That face right there, though, spoke 1,000 words. It's an illegal block call. Again, we don't have numbers for you on high school football to protect the names of the guilty. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 29. Second down and the cheap cab ride for the Buchholz Bobcats. Anderson behind center. They gave this to Mitchell. Big hole. And it's finally plugged up by Antonio Clemens, who knocks him down at about the 13-yard line.
Good safe play call there, Mike. A draw up the middle to Vontrell Mitchell. He's your #1 back. He's going to hold on to the ball for the most part. You don't need any turnovers right now. You have the lead 13-10. That opens up things. They got about 9 yards on the carry. Good call by the offensive coordinator, Bob Smith, for the Buchholz Bobcats.
Well, they have Vontrell Mitchell lined up wide right, playing wide receiver now. 3 wideouts for Buchholz as they look to make a first down here. Johnson goes deep, and it's dropped by number 9, Kevin Terry. And he's got to regret that one. Right in his hands. He read the play all the way, got a good beat on it, and just couldn't come up with it. A good defensive play, but when you're the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes, you have to come up with those kind of situations. Nevertheless, Buchholz will be forced to punt here on a 4th and 20, and Gainesville should get very good field position.
Good thinking there by the senior Kevin Terry. Obviously, Vontrell Mitchell was lined up as a wide receiver. That's going to get your attention, and being a senior that he was, he kept his eye on Vontrell, and he was ready for that pass, and he broke it up. Unfortunate for him, he couldn't get the interception, but great play there by the senior.
Well, they couldn't get the interception, but if Antonio Clemens can get a good return here. And Ricky Ray was right in the face of the punter. And they'll let the ball roll just beyond the 50-yard line at about the 49 of Gainesville. Gainesville's one of their best positions of the day as they try to capitalize on great defense. And here you see Ed Janes talking to Cleve Davis, number 15, taking over the quarterback duties for now. Jane's going to ride the hot hand.
Like it's do or die time. GHS needs a drive right here.
This is a key drive indeed. 1st and 10 from the 49. And the give is to number 8, Antonio Clements. And Clements has not found any easy going. We don't have a stat line on Clements at the moment, but it doesn't seem like he's been able to get much going.
No, he only had like 13 yards on 3 carries in the first half. And it looks like we got a player down.
That appears to be number 60, Shane Goslinga, the 5'11", 228 linebacker. And it appears to be something with either the knee or the calf there. I don't want to play doctor, but I can tell you it's on that left leg.
Well, let's just hope this is a cramp or something, and it's nothing serious for this young man, because he's an important part of this Buchholz team. He's been playing on offense and defense. He's one of their leaders. He's a junior, one of the upperclassmen on this team. Let's just hope he's okay.
And certainly you don't want to see an injury in a preseason game, a game that, for all intents and purposes, does not actually count in the final standings, although both teams certainly looking to pick up a victory here. But the last thing you'd want to see is a serious season-ending injury in just a preseason game. So the medical staff still attending to number 60.
Yeah, Mike, you hate to see this, but you know, whenever the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes and the Buchholz Bobcats take to the field, I don't care if it's a preseason game, they're going to give it all they have, because this is such an intense, heated battle. And you got to know that the Purple Hurricanes want to win so bad. I mean, the last couple years, they've come close, but they couldn't get that victory over the Buchholz Bobcats. And like I said, even though it's a preseason game, they're out there giving their all, and unfortunately, injuries do happen. Let's hope old Shane Gosling is okay. Looks like he's getting up.
Well, we've gone about 17 minutes here in the second half, and still no score. As you see Goslinga walk off the field, a good sign. All the Buchholz players and fans happy to see that. He appears to be okay, and we will return to action here. It's 2nd down and 10 from just inside the 50-yard line for the Purple Hurricanes. Number 15, Cleve Davis, in at quarterback, the senior. Gainesville now 3 wide receivers, the first time we've seen this all night. 2nd down and 10, play action. The throw is picked off by number 46, Arkil Starke, and he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Buchholz.
Mike, big mistake there, big mistake. GHS, they're down on the 50-yard line. It's 13-10. They want to put together a drive. They had to pass sometime. Just a mistake there by Cleve Davis. He's a young quarterback. He's inexperienced. Bad break for him. Great play for Buchholz. And number 36, Arkil Starke, just anticipated the pass, stepped in front of it. Nothing but green in front of him. Celebration time for Buchholz.
Davis telegraphed that pass all the way, and Starke was not fooled. The 6'4", 205-pound defensive end senior, as he runs it back some 55 yards plus, and Gainesville goes up 19-10 pending the extra point, which is up and good. 20-10, the Buchholz Bobcats lead here midway through the 4th quarter, and Gainesville will have to get something going on this drive, as just under 7 minutes left to go in this game. They can't afford to go forward 3 downs and out here. Key play for the Bobcats. 20-10 is our score.
The Hurricanes still holding on to some hope. Their players showing a little enthusiasm there on the sideline, but with the offense we've seen from them, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to a quick strike offense. Ed James just wanted to hope to keep it close, and he could sneak out a victory there on the end, relying on his defense. But Arkil Starke anticipated that pass, and it was a 3-point game. Now it's a 10-point game, and we only have 6 minutes and 57 seconds left. So Gainesville's going to have to find some offense, and they're going to have to do it in a hurry, Mike.
You know, despite being scoreless before that touchdown, actually was less sloppily played than the first half. That's the first turnover of the second half. We had 4 in the first, and I don't think any turnover is more crucial than that one right now as far as both teams are concerned. Clements returns the kick and gets a sticked by number 5, Chris Johnson, the sophomore defensive back. He levels Antonio Clemens at about the 27-yard line. The Buchholz special teams impressive throughout the game. I don't mean to sound like a cliche here, Mark, but offense, defense is important, but special teams, a very important aspect of the game.
We've seen 2 big hits by the Buchholz special teams on their kickoff coverage. First by Nicholas Rawls with a clothesline job. And now we saw Chris Johnson, the young sophomore, make a big hit.
First down and 10. Gainesville needs a drive here. And quarterback sneak, that's just not going to work against this Buchholz defensive line. Nothing doing, and there's a penalty flag. Number 36 of Buchholz, Brian Dragotsky, and couldn't make out, I believe it was 24, Jason Phillips. 2 players got a little scuffle there. Might be offside at penalties. Let's see. Nope, they're going to call it against Buchholz.
George Dean can't be happy with that. He's got a 10-point lead. GHS Purple Hurricanes, they're not really moving the ball with much success. And Bobcats just decide there they'd make a mistake and move the ball for the Canes. So Buchholz with a mistake there. And they're 10 points ahead. They just gave up 15 yards.
The Bobcats bailing out Gainesville right there, giving them what turned out to be not very good field position to very good position at the 45-yard line out of Gainesville. And we see, well, now we have Terrell Griffin as musical quarterbacks continues here at GHS. Griffin with the quarterback sneak. Nothing doing, a gain of 3 behind the right guard, and there's another penalty flag, and I get the feeling this might be another 15-yarder. It is, and it's a personal foul against Gainesville. Tempers are starting to flare, and I think for Gainesville High, that might be more of a frustration penalty than anything else.
Yeah, Mike, you're right there. A lot of frustrations coming out for the Purple Hurricanes. They were in this game all up until that interception by Arkil Starke, and they kind of saw their chance for victory scamper along as Arkil got into the end zone there. 10-point lead for Buchholz. Doesn't look too good for Gainesville right now. It looks like they might have to wait for a little revenge later on in the season, Mike.
And this is not a good scenario for the Purple Hurricanes. They're not a passing team to begin with, but they're missing their 2 main receivers, Mac Boston and Sean Gostin. Both are not suited up to play tonight. So they are still looking to find some success with the passing game. The give is to number 23 again up the middle. Jermaine Scott, haven't heard his name in a while, quite busy in the first half. Again, a minimal gain, about 2 or 3 yards. The Buchholz Bobcat front 3, Kendrick Williams, Judson Douglas, and Eric Payton have been solid the entire game. Gainesville has gotten nothing going on the ground up the middle. Not much all at rushing at all.
Looks like this Buchholz 3-5-3 gimmick defense has worked very well against GHS. They're not allowing the Purple Hurricanes many yards on the ground, and doing a good job. Of course, they have an unusual defensive setup. You have 3 down linemen. That's Kendrick Williams, Judson Douglas, and Eric Payton. Then they got what they call a Sam backer. That's Jeff Carter, number 31. You'll see him fly all over the field as he has tonight. Then you got banded back Brad McCants, who handles not only that duty, but kicking and punting.
And a reminder to watch Cox Cable 8's Game of the Week next week as the Buchholz Bobcats take on the Eastside Rams Saturday, September 3rd at 7:30 p.m. and Monday, September 5th at 3 p.m. That should be a good one. Buchholz and Eastside, Mark. Both teams looking to make some noise here in Gainesville.
I think Buchholz is going to be come out to that game, and they're going to try to do the same thing they did against Eastside last year. Doug Johnson to R.J. Anderson. An incredible game for those two. That kind of set the tone for the rest of their season. But Eastside's coming back. Aaron Carter has a good squad. He says they have a lot more speed this year. Maybe not they're not as big or as experienced, but definitely they have a lot more speed this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do.
I don't want to belabor the point, but another quarterback change for Gainesville. Cleve Davis now back in, and he scrambles left, looking for number 19. Well, actually was intended for 88. Coming across, that's Ryan Perfett, 6'1", 182-pounder. But again, Gainesville quarterbacks leading their receiver too much. Leon Payne in on the play. We haven't mentioned Leon's number tonight, Marcus.
Yeah, Leon Payne, very interesting story. Seems like he's destined to be a fan favorite here at Buchholz. I wish we could have got to see him play a little bit more at that running back position. He's, get this, 5 feet tall, 137 pounds. The man bench presses 330 pounds.
Unbelievable. It's hard to believe a man weighs about 30 pounds less than you do and yet can bench press considerably more.
Well, Mike, we all have to set realistic goals like you do, like bench pressing your own weight. But
oh, that's rough. There's only one thing stopping me from arm wrestling you right now. It's our fine statistician, Chris Fickenshire, doing the stats tonight. Fake punt here. Kenny Warb going deep. Ricky Ray makes the catch and breaks the tackle at the 30. 15-10, touchdown, Gainesville High. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ed Janes pulling out the bag of tricks. And Ricky Ray, their defensive star, has both of their touchdowns. I'm at a loss here, Marcus.
I'll tell you what, Mike. Give Ed Janes credit. His whole team, they never give up. We saw this last year against Bradenton Manatee. We see it here against Buchholz. They can be down in a game, have absolutely no offense going, and then somehow come out with a score. Incredible. Coach Janes, his coaching reflects in this team. What a great play. And hey, GHS is right back in this game if Kenny Warb gets this extra point, and that's pretty much automatic, Mike.
If there is a way, I am convinced that head coach Ed Janes will find it. The extra point by Kenny Warb, showing off his arm on the last play. Now he'll try to show off his foot. On the extra point, another pad snap. But Kenny makes the best of it anyway. And folks, we got ourselves a ball game here. 20-17 now, a 3-point game, 4:51 remaining in the game. And the Gainesville High fans starting to get into this one. What a show Ricky Ray has put on. 2 touchdowns, one off a lateral on an interception, another one on a reception on a fake punt. We haven't heard his name much on defense, but you do it however you can. There you see the score, 20-17 in the 4th quarter. And what was a quite quiet Gainesville side here has now become very loud. You see the cheerleaders going at it. You see the fans going at it. It's getting noisy over here. I kind of like this.
Looked like there was a little hurricane watch, hurricane warning going on. Ed Janes has his troops back in this game. Buchholz better be careful. They need to hold on to this ball here. You know they're going to keep it with Vontrell Mitchell in his hands because there's a lot of pride on the line in this game. Buchholz, if it's not a preseason game, I don't care what it is. Buchholz wants this game, and so does GHS. And I don't know. I'm just amazed with the coaching here of Ed Janes, the attitude that he portrays in his team, and the way they can, way he keeps his team in these kind of games.
Of course, who can forget last year's game against Manatee, Marcus, where they did the old fumble Rooski, Terrell Griffin taking it down the sideline. They almost pulled that off, which would have been one of the biggest upsets of the year. This time it's the fake punt. As we get ready to kick it off, Warub kicks it deep in the end zone. No one's going to return that one, folks. How about 63 yards on the kickoff? And what a plus to have a kicker like Kenny Warub.
I think he showed me something with that arm, too. Maybe he can solve the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes quarterback problem. Stick old Kenny in there, change the offense around a little bit, throw it out to the wide receivers, open things up. Maybe put Ricky Ray at wide receiver a little more, and you got an explosive offense. Maybe Ed Janes should consider that.
You don't have Kenny Warub on the quarterback depth chart, but that is the best pass I've seen from a Gainesville quarterback tonight.
Yes, it is, Mike.
1st and 10 for Gainesville from the 20-yard line. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the game. 20-17 is our score. Doug Johnson, well, no surprise there, except for the fact that Mitchell did not get the carry. Instead, they go to 37. Fullback Richard Rembert.
I don't know, Mike. I think I would look for Coach Dean here to go out on a screen pass to R.J. Anderson, something very safe. And if it's not there, have Doug Johnson throw it away. Doug Johnson is an experienced quarterback. He knows what to do in these kind of situations. He has playoff savvy, as they defeated Raines last year in the playoffs 32-0, lost to Bay. There you see Ed James on the sidelines trying to get his defense together to hold Buchholz and hopefully get the ball back with some time left on the clock.
That face speaks 1,000 words, Marcus. Tell Coach Ed James right now it's just the Kickoff Classic. He's smiling, but very intense there along the sideline. Hoping his team can pull off a stop here. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The clock is running with just under 4.5 minutes to go. Doug Johnson under center, 3 wideouts. The lone back is Rembert. Johnson's going to pass the ball, goes over the middle to number 44 at the 50, the 45-40, the 30, 25-25, touchdown Buchholz. Number 44, Brad McCants, but there's a penalty flag on the field at the 20-yard line, and boy, Doug Johnson will have a conniption if this one goes back again. This would be the 2nd bomb that would go back. No word yet on the play. I believe we might have a clipping call on Buchholz.
I don't know, Mike. Also a possibility is roughing the passer, but I don't know. From the reaction of Doug Johnson, doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. I think he thinks the play is going to be right back there on the 20-yard line where this drive started. But once again, that play to McCants has been there all day, hasn't it, Mike? I mean, he also picked up a great block from Niel Mingo.
But when you have guys like Vontrell Mitchell and R.J. Anderson, there's going to be a 3rd guy that people are just not going to pay as much attention to. That guy tonight has been Brad McCants. But again, quarterback Doug Johnson must be irate at this point. This is the 2nd long pass play that he's had called back. That last play covering about 72 yards or so. Call it 77 yards. A 77-yard pass play called back.
Well, there you see Doug Johnson. Of course, he was irate, but there he's clapping his hands. He's getting his team back into it. They're up by 3. And they have a long yardage situation to go here, but look for him to keep it on the ground.
Clipping a 15-yard penalty, 2nd and 21 now for the Bobcats. That is a killer, and it keeps Gainesville in this game. Anderson is back, make that Johnson back to pass, finds an open R.J. Anderson at the 25. Anderson cuts back and then gets sticked at about the 27. Number 21, Ricky Ray on the play, making his presence known, and it'll be 3rd and about 3 yards to go. That play going for about 18. And you said so earlier, Marcus, looking for R.J. Anderson short would be a prime option, and that's exactly what they went to.
Give credit to offensive coordinator Bob Smith. A great call there. He had R.J. Anderson go over the middle. He stayed in bounds. You keep the connection going, Johnson to Anderson. Johnson has a lot of confidence in Anderson, and the clock keeps running.
3rd down and 3, and it's a quarterback sneak. And I believe he's got the 1st down. Key play. Key play by number 12, Doug Johnson. It is indeed a 1st down, and the clock will run now. 3:20 and counting. Gainesville will have to line it up and stop them again here. Interesting call by George Dean there. And it pays off as the Bobcats have a 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Johnson takes the snap. He's back to pass, and forget about it. All over his face is number 21, Ricky Ray. As if it's any surprise, Ricky Ray has saved his best for the fourth quarter. Ricky Ray single-handedly leading the Purple Hurricane defense.
Well, like you said, Mike, Ricky Ray is the heart and soul of this Gainesville Purple Hurricane team. I imagine him being one of those more leaders by example. The way he shied away from us, he doesn't like to talk too much. He likes to let his play do the talking, and he's doing that tonight.
Hasn't been very soft-spoken tonight. Second down, 17, a 7-yard loss on the play. Buchholz. Oh, it's a fumble, and it's picked up. The Purple Hurricane showed blitz. They ran it. A fumbled snap by Doug Johnson, number 40. Well, the linebacker, Mike Rice, picks it up at the 23-yard line of the Buchholz Bobcats. And oh my, someone upstairs must love these Gainesville Purple Hurricanes, Mark.
Well, it was a great defensive call. Mike Rice came in there. He tried to disturb Doug Johnson. Fake blitz, came back in. He was right on top of the center. I think Buchholz got a little stiff there, a little scared. Some kind of jitters happened there. Not typical of your Buchholz Bobcat team. There was a nasty exchange between the center and the quarterback, and the ball came loose, and Mike Rice jumped on it.
Gainesville lines up 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clements. He picks up 2 or 3 strong yards up the middle. And you know, a minute 33. They're already in Kenny Warrup field goal range. I get the feeling, though, Gainesville would like to just wrap this one up if they can. We'll have to see how Ed James is going to play it. There you see number 10, Kenny Warrup. What must be going through his mind? There's the snap. The give is again to number 8, Antonio Clements. Bouncing to the right side for a gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and short, call it 3rd and 3. Incidentally, number 15, Cleve Davis, is back in the game.
Mike, you have to believe, I kind of disagree with you. I think Ed James would be happy to send his kicker into the game to tie it up. I think GHS is going to stick on the ground here. Of course, you know, I've been wrong many a times, and play their chances with Kenny Warrup.
Well, they're back with Terrell Griffin behind center. Buchholz showing blitz. It's a quarterback draw to the left. Oh, he pitches it to number 8, Antonio Clements. And it's just short of a touchdown. Unbelievable. They're down to the 1-yard line. What else can Coach Ed James think of next? They run the option on the left-hand side on a 3rd down and 3. And Terrell Griffin was just short of having his knee down before he pitches it to Antonio Clements. Clements goes down to the 1-yard line, 18 seconds left. Marcus, it doesn't get any better than this.
No, it doesn't, Mike. I thought for a second I was watching Barry Switzer coaching the Oklahoma Sooners there with that pitch option there by Terrell Griffin. He held it as long as he could, and then, like you're told to do in practice, got rid of it and bailed out the last second. That left an opening.
Head coach Ed James is electing to call a timeout, and there you see the Purple Hurricanes stirring up the crowd. They are 1 yard away, 18 seconds away from pulling off a major upset here in the 1994 Kickoff Classic. The Hurricanes have not defeated Buchholz since 1988, and you can't get any closer than where they are right now. Now let's take a look at this, Mark. There's 18 seconds left. Gainesville, I'm not sure, believe they have at least one more timeout left. So you figure they will be able to run at least 2 more plays here.
I believe Buchholz has all 3 or either 2. Of course, if you assuming GHS scores, you still have R.J. Anderson and Doug Johnson, which is a dangerous combo. So we'll have to wait and see how this game plays out. Definitely a big chance for the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes to get rid of this stigma of the city rivalry.
And here we go. First and goal from the 1-yard line. Terrell Griffin is the quarterback. Full house backfield. The give is to number 8, Antonio Clemens. The surge up the left-hand middle. And no sign from the officials. Either he's short or that would be the longest delay for a touchdown call that I've seen in quite some time. He is in fact short. Gainesville calls timeout with 7 ticks to go. Well, actually, the clock runs now. They're going to run a play. Here we go, Terrell Griffin. Quarterback sneak, left-hand side, touchdown, Gainesville! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! The Purple Hurricanes have won. The clock shows 0. The game is over. The players storm the field. Holy cow! 23-20 is your score. Coach Ed James pulls out a miracle here at Citizens Field. And what a way to start off the 1994 season here at the Kickoff Classic with a dramatic come-from-behind victory. 23-20, the Gainesville Purple Hurricanes defeat the Buchholz Bobcats.
Wow, Mike, wow. You know, whew, what a game.
I'm out of breath, you tell me. Everybody is storming the field, they're shaking hands. I don't know what George Dean is going to say to his boys back in the locker room. That is a tremendous tough loss to take. It seemed as if Buchholz had it in the bag, but with Ed James, these Purple Hurricanes believe they can pull it out no matter what the score, no matter how much time left, and that's exactly what they did here in the 4th quarter, pulling off a tremendous come-from-behind victory. 23-20 is your final score. We'll come back right after this. Pulled off a dramatic 23-20 come-from-behind victory. As we look at the final statistics there, pretty even across the board there, Marcus. Total yards 206 to 193, but Buchholz only managed 26 total yards in the second half.
Well, the big thing you see there, Mike, is the penalty. 6 for 66. Buchholz had 2 long passes from Doug Johnson erased by holding penalty and another penalty on the offensive line. That kind of made things fall apart there for Buchholz.
Marcus, we mentioned before the game, this is the Kickoff Classic. It's a preseason game, but we know it's more than that to the players out there. Tell me what this means to Coach Ed James to come out here and beat